Ticket to Ride by Elizabeth Hopkinson. They get on my bus at 9:30 each morning. First bus they can board with their free passes. They're not stupid. Azrael gives me a friendly nod as usual. "Where are you off today?" I say. He grins on all four faces. "Senior screening at Pictureville. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Free cup of tea and a biscuit." He walks to the back where Anubis is saving him a seat. We're not really meant to allow dogs on the bus, except for assistance dogs. But I make an exception for him. After all, he's only canine from the neck up. The rest of him is relatively normal, although he does have a tendency to drool on the tickets. It's like a school trip at this time of day. They all get on with flasks and sandwiches in their rucksacks, waving to their friends. The same old familiar faces time after time. Skinless Mictacasahortle with her mouth full of stars. Yama with his crown of skulls. Huie-nui-te-pō, elegant as ever in a gown of sunset. All laughing and chattering in anticipation of matinee theatre tickets and early bird menus. I have to admit, it was a bit odd at first. I mean, we get a good mixture of people living around here. Variety's the spice and all that. But still, with all the rebranding work the council's put in, I don't think anyone was expecting Bradford to become a retirement home for gods of death. I think they were hoping more for a hipster indie Yorkshire answer to Berlin than some sort of Filey for the undead. And how the hell can a god retire? I asked Huie-nui-te-pō the first week they arrived. "Sorry," I added, noticing a strikingly well-toned Hades just behind him, pronged fork in hand. Not the best choice of words. Huie-nui-te-pō shrugged his blue shoulders. "Staff cuts. It's the same story everywhere. You think austerity is just for the living? Ha!" His laughter sounded like the grinding of eons old granite. Hades nodded. "They can do it all by computer now. Just press a button and 100 souls are harvested. Poof! Just like that. Besides, it's all multicultural now," Baron Samedi added. "No need for every tribe and religion to have its own death god. That's what they told me." "Self-service check-ins, that's the latest." A Shinigami rolled its eyes. "It'll be absolute bedlam. And who will they get in to fix the mess? Not us. Some spotty youth work experience with a clipboard, that's who." The rest of them rattled their bones and clacked their teeth in agreement. There's not much you can say to that, is there? Other than, mind your step, and second stop after the lights for the Broadway shopping centre. I did have to draw the line when Hades tried to bring Cerberus along. A fellow with the head of a dog I can just about cope with after the night shift. A dog with 3 heads is just weird. The other seniors didn't take to them at first. You can't blame them. When you're pushing 80, the last thing you want to see is a god of death getting on the 637 to Bradford. "I'm going to call the imam." Mr. Zafar waved his mobile phone in my face. It might have worried me if he'd remembered to switch it on. "They ought to be exorcised, and that icy one's leaving puddles on the seat." "Elder abuse, that's what it is," Mrs. Maranka added. But everything changed after word got round that Ugbanabali knew how to access the free Wi-Fi. Before long, there was a little crowd clustered around a tablet. By the time we reached City Hall, 3 of them had done click and collect at Argos, and Mr. West had swapped email addresses with Proserpina. Now, hands round flies for the University of the Third Age, while her friend Jemima Ambrose encourages Anku and Erlich to join the over-50s Rambling Club. The three Valkyries who sit on the back seat are always making eyes at Mr. Singh. Rumour has it that he has been out to lunch with one, or all three of them. They travel all over the place. Organ recitals, trips to the coast. They particularly like Whitby. They enjoy lurking in the ruined abbey and frightening goths. And then there's the gym. Caron is forever telling me how many kilometres he can do on the rowing machine. Good for them, I say. It gives us all hope for life after death, doesn't it? Have a good one, Azrael, I say, as he gets off outside City Hall. He turns his third face to me and winks. I've got my eye on you. All of them. We laugh as usual. But once he's out of sight, I finger my rosary and say a prayer. You can't be too careful.